You're sitting at your desk. The market is moving. You feel that slight tightness in your chest, that subtle electric itch to do something. You tell yourself it's ambition. You tell yourself it's the hustle. But if we're being honest, it's actually a quiet, invisible fear that if you aren't clicking a button, you're falling behind. Today, we aren't going to talk about how much money you can make this month. We aren't going to talk about Lambos or 100% returns. We're talking about the internal shift from being a gambler who wants to win to being a professional who refuses to lose. Because in this game, the only thing that leads to external success is the internal obsession with staying alive. Destruction of expectations. Most people come into the markets thinking the signal is a perfect entry. They think the secret is finding the right indicator or the right kill zone. You think the strategy matters. It doesn't. Most people focus on the profit potential of a single trade, but the real professional focuses on the survival of the entire account. Here is the brutal truth. Most traders don't go broke because they are wrong. They go broke because they are impatient. They focus on the magnitude of the win, while the professional focuses on the frequency of the risk. If you want to be here in 5 years, you have to stop trying to be right and start trying to be bulletproof. The 4 shifts of longevity. The boredom threshold. The counterintuitive truth. If your trading feels exciting, you are probably doing it wrong. Beginner versus pro. The beginner seeks a rush, the high of the win. The professional seeks a non-event. To a pro, a winning trade and a losing trade should feel exactly the same. The psychology. Our brains are wired for dopamine. We crave the hit of a successful prediction, but professional trading is essentially high-level data entry. It's repetitive. The positive sign. If you find yourself yawning while watching your setups form, congratulations. You've moved past emotional gambling into systematic execution. Analogy. Think of a professional surgeon. They don't want excitement in the operating room. They want a routine, predictable outcome. Treating cash like oxygen, not points. The counterintuitive truth. Your primary job is not to make money. Your primary job is to not lose what you already have. Beginner versus pro. The beginner sees a $1,000 account as $1,000 worth of potential stuff. The professional sees it as work units. If you lose your capital, you lose your ability to work. The warning. The moment you start thinking about what a trade can buy you, you've already lost your edge. You've tied your survival to a variable you don't control. The positive sign. You start feeling more pain from a sloppy win than a disciplined loss. You realize that a win outside of your rules is actually a threat to your long-term longevity. The shift from prediction to reaction. The counterintuitive truth. The market doesn't care what you think will happen, and neither should you. Beginner versus pro. The beginner tries to forecast the future like a fortune teller, but the professional waits for a specific set of conditions to be met, like a predator in a blind. The biological explanation. Our ego wants to be right. It's a survival mechanism from our ancestors to maintain status in a tribe. But in trading, the ego is a liability. The shift is when you stop saying the market will go up and start saying, if the market does X, I will do Y. You have officially entered the professional realm. Measuring success in quarters, not days. The counterintuitive truth. A red day is a meaningless data point. Beginner versus pro. The beginner checks their P&L every 30 minutes. Their mood for the evening depends on the last candle. The professional evaluates their performance over 100 trades or 3 months of data. Example, an elite athlete doesn't retire because they missed one shot. They look at their season averages. The positive sign? You stop checking your account balance after every trade. You focus entirely on whether or not you followed your process. 4. Internal versus external results. Understand this. Your internal mastery will always run ahead of your bank account. There is a gap, a long, frustrating gap where you are doing everything right. You're disciplined, you're managing risk, you're staying calm, but the money isn't flowing in yet. This is where most people quit. They think because the external result hasn't shown up, the internal shift isn't working. But mastery is cumulative. You are building the mental infrastructure to handle the wealth that is coming. If the money came before the discipline, you would just lose it all in a single week of tilt. Trust the gap. 5. Case study, the trader who stayed small. I want to tell you about a trader I knew. Let's call him Alex. For 2 years, Alex didn't make a dime. He didn't lose his account, but he didn't grow it either. He just survived. He spent those 2 years obsessively refining one single setup. He took the same boring trades every single morning. His friends were hitting home runs on meme stocks and volatile crypto plays. They made fun of him for his 0.5% risk per trade. Then the market shifted. The volatility dried up. The home run hitters blew their accounts in a single month because they never learned how to protect their capital. Alex, he was still there because he had mastered the internal process of longevity. He was the only one left to capitalize on the next big trend. His breakthrough looked like an overnight success, but it was actually the result of 700 days of refusing to die. Final insight / call to trust the process. Trading is not a game of who is the smartest. It's a game of who is the most resilient. The brutal truth is that the market is designed to take money from the impatient and give it to the disciplined. If you can protect your capital today, you give yourself the right to play tomorrow. Stop looking for the excitement. Stop looking for the big hit. Focus on the quiet, boring, consistent execution of your plan. Master the internal. The external will take care of itself. Stay disciplined. I'll see you in the next one.